Hello and welcome to today's daily recap. Okay, so today is Thursday, July 16th, and like always, just gonna dive right into the SPX, the S&P 500. Right, and so from a daily point of view, what we see right away is, let me just pull up my marker here. But we see that our monthly pivot zone once again has held as support, right? Right here. Right, so our monthly pivot zone is at this 3200 level, and once again, the past 2 days, it has been the level that has been holding us up, holding price up, right? So if we just look over here on the 15-minute chart and see what this looks like here, right, you can see it a little better, right? So it held up here, tried to bounce, but then fell through it. So it was kind of a drop-based drop. And then as we came back into it again here, held here, and today we just had a really choppy day, right? We didn't break out of this range really. So what does that mean going forward, right? Well, once again, we're looking to see tomorrow, is our monthly pivot zone going to hold, okay? Or is price going to finally break through it, right? Maybe get down to this weekly pivot zone, this 3178 level, right? Or are we going to finally break up to the upside to this 3232 level and maybe make a new high, new pandemic high, right? So that's what you want. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Okay. Okay. So as for Apple, right, we kind of had something similar occur where our weekly pivot zone, right, which is indicated by this this purple line here. It's kind of hard for you to see, but I'm just going to show you on the 15 really quickly. Yep. So as you can see, once again, it just held our 15, our weekly pivot zone level, right? And we can see throughout the week, it's kind of, there's this pre-market, right? It held up here, it got into there again, broke through it, came back down, and then held as support once it finally pushed through, right? And so, like I always say, when price comes into it, it acts as support, right? So it held up, and once again, the same thing I'm looking for in the S&P 500 is what I'm looking for in Apple, which is this level going to hold, or are we going to break to the downside? If we don't break to the downside, which we look like we are holding in after hours at the moment, at least, right? If we are going to hold this level, I would like to see us push up through today's high of day, right? Get through and probably touch up here, which was yesterday's close at this 399 level, right? So yeah, that's kind of the game plan for that. Just gonna quickly go through these. I also actually, let me quickly show you. I did make a trade on Apple today, right? So I was finally at my desk to make a few trades. And so I made a trade. It was, I believe I caught this move here and sold somewhere up here. And then I caught this move and sold somewhere down here. Let me just quickly, I'm just gonna actually show you on the screen here. Let me see, interactive brokers. Yeah, so right here, these are my trades for the day, and this is the P&L. This is my small account. I have a 3K account, right? So first trade made 114, second trade made $20, right? But I wasn't so confident on the second trade, and I wanted to lock in my profits. But yeah, so I used second trade here, got in with 3 contracts for an average of $3, right? And then sold them for an average of 312. The first trade, which was the real trade that I really made, this was got in for an average of $2.60 per contract, right? And sold for an average of $2.87 per contract, right? And that resulted in a $114 win. And like I said, the second trade was a $18 win, right? And so for me, with my small account here, and the main goal for my small account is just to consistently grow it, probably, like make probably $100 to $200 every single day, and see where I can get this by, mm, I don't know, probably by the end of, let's see, probably by the end of August. I'd like to see how far we've taken this 3K account, right? But as for the analysis, let me just get back into that really quickly. So for NVIDIA here, all right, let me actually show you on the daily chart here, right? As for NVIDIA, right, we see that we kind of had this neutral day, relatively neutral day, where um, sellers came in here and buyers came in here, and price met in the middle, right? Opened up down here, closed up here, right? Not too much to note, but just that our 400 level held as support, right? And pushed price up once price opened up, fell into it, and I'll just quickly show you on the 15 here, right? So price opens up, comes down, that 400 level, ultimately holds up, and rallied into the close pretty much. Well, we had a small little fade here, but to me, this is a rally, right? But again, a key takeaway, right? And this is really what I'm just going to be showing you across pretty much all the names that I reviewed today, is that are these support zones that we made today, are they going to hold for tomorrow, which is Friday, or are they going to push higher, or are they going to fade, right? Now, one key thing today that happened was Netflix actually had its earnings, right? And so as you can see, okay, so as you can see, right, we had a relatively neutral day yesterday, day before as well. We're kind of holding these levels today again, right? This 510 area, and I was saying about this. I didn't know what we were going to have for earnings. I didn't know if it was going to be good or bad. I had predicted that we'd probably have some good earnings, as everyone has really been at home and not really doing too much. I'm sure there's a lot of people who were on Netflix, uh, just watching movies and stuff and TV shows all day, but while everyone was quarantined. But I said that while I would expect Netflix to have relatively good earnings, I didn't know what's going to happen, because when you think you know what's going to happen, especially with earnings, it's oftentimes the opposite. So if you expect a company to do poorly, they're probably going to somehow beat, right? And so that's exactly what happened with Netflix today, where they actually missed on earnings. That's why we saw this push down from 530 all the way down to our monthly pivot zone here, and our 450 level that we had drawn there for a while now, right? And so once it came into these two levels, it pushed back up, right? But it sold off from 530 down to 470-ish area now, right? So we'll see what happens with it tomorrow. This is a severe gap down. Not a severe gap down, but it's a relatively strong one. So we're going to see if price wants to come back up and maybe fill some of the gap, probably not all of it, because it is such a large gap down. But we'll see what happens with that tomorrow. And if I'm just looking at it on the daily chart, right? Yeah. So we can look at today's price action as well, which was that we came into, once again, like I was showing you, the 510 area, right? Pushed back up. But once again, due to earnings, we're now going to open up somewhere down here tomorrow, right? And I would want to see if this 492 level will hold, which is actually probably going to be resistance, because we're actually down here somewhere at the moment, right? So is this going to become resistance now and reject price, right? And more importantly, is our monthly pivot zone going to hold as support, as price is now above it, right? So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but that is my analysis for Netflix. Okay, as for Microsoft, right, we kind of had more of the same, right? We can see here, we had this monthly pivot zone here hold as support once again, right? So if I just show you on the 15-minute here, right? So it held up here and it held up here, right? And so even though it's not exactly touching this line here, right? That's not what this is meant for, right? Which would be this 202 level. Like I always say, price isn't just a level. It's not 201.78, right? This is not the be all and end all price point where as soon as price touches it, it's going to reject that price, shoot, skyrocket right up. No, that's not what's going to happen. It's this general area down here, right? And it's this general area down here where price is finding support and bouncing off there, right? So it's a demand zone, right? So down here, we have some form of demand zone where every time price gets into it, right, we push up, right? Okay, so when it comes to Tesla here, we actually see the opposite, right? So we have our weekly edge here, which is identified by this purple level, and price came into it and rejected it today, right? Because once again, when price is below it, it acts as resistance, right? So let me just quickly show you 15 once again, just to give you a better view, right? So even this whole week, really, this weekly pivot zone here has been a key level, right? So it came into here, right? Then it was hugging this zone the whole day. It was hugging it this day. Pretty much was hugging it this day as well, right? And again, watch, you can see here on lower time frames, it rejected it, pushed down, came back into it, pushed down, came back into it, finally broke above, right? Then overnight, moved like this, came into it again, pushed down, came into it again, and just hugged it, right? So as you can clearly see, this is a clear level that is really in play, right? For Tesla, right? So once again, what I'm looking for is it going to hold up tomorrow as resistance, right? Or is it gonna break through finally and maybe get above this 1550 level, right? So if I go back on the daily time frame here, I was explaining that whenever price gets in yesterday's video, sorry, I was explaining that whenever price gets into this level down here, buyers are loading up, right? And it happened once again today, right? As you can see, as soon as price got down here, we pushed higher. Yes, we did reject our weekly pivot zone here, but buyers stepped in, right? The only thing is today was a little different because sellers actually stepped in as well, right? So we've had wicks at the bottom, right? Past 2 days, and today we had a wick at the top, right? So it's a little interesting to see what happens here. Like I said, I was planning on actually taking this trade long. I remember I was talking about swinging it potentially yesterday, but I'm glad that I didn't, and that I sat on my hands, as if I had gotten long into the close yesterday there, I would have been down on my position, right? Okay, so as for Amazon, we can see that buyers came in down here around this 290 level and pushed it up a little bit. I can show you here on day 15. All right. The other indicator that I have in place, right, that I use is this blue level, this blue dashed line, which is yesterday's prior close, right? So the prior close here. So I have this as a level as well. So we gap down a little bit. And once again, what do I always say whenever we gap down, right? So this is our level for which we'd want to see price get into when we see a gap down, right? This blue level, right? So price opens up down here, pushes down, buyers step in at this 290, 292 or 2920 level, sorry, right? And then pushes up and fills the gap from yesterday's close, right up to his 3008 level, right? And then ultimately fades after that. But like I said, whenever you see that gap down, you want to see if the gap will fill. So your entry would have been probably above high of day here. And this isn't a lot, but on a name like Amazon, where premiums are very expensive, right? If you're scalping this for a move above high of day, right, you're going to easily make more than enough money from just a move from here up here, right? Um, So yeah, but that's my analysis for today. Once again, like always, I hope you guys are trading well and staying green. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna be showing you guys a little more here and there whenever I can, really. So like I was showing you my P&L for the day and stuff like that. I'm going to be showing that a little more often whenever I do make trades, that is. And yeah, I do plan on posting videos because I do record my live trading sessions. So I'm going to be showing you guys some of my trades. But I'm just a little busy right now, so bear with me. But yeah, when I do get around to that, be on the lookout for those videos. Other than that, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you on the next one.